Hey there, I am Christine and I'm a second generation homeschooler. Those of you who follow my channel know this about me, but those of you who are new here don't. And I thought it might be helpful to share with you what it's like being a second generation homeschooler. What are some of the benefits? What are some of the things I still struggle with? And just have an honest conversation about that. Maybe it's just out of curiosity for you, but also if you're a second generation homeschooler, I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. So keep watching. I've been homeschooling my own kids for 6 years now, and I just enjoy it. And I'm so grateful for the privilege of being able to homeschool them. It has just been such a blessing, but I am also extremely grateful for the privilege of being homeschooled myself. So I wasn't homeschooled my whole educational life. I was homeschooled from the age of 11 right through until I graduated. And two youngest siblings were homeschooled right through, but my brother also went to public school for a little bit. And my parents were real pioneers for their generation as far as homeschooling. It had never been done on either side of their families. They were also immigrants to the country I live in, New Zealand. They came from South Africa, and homeschooling was even less common over there than it was in New Zealand. We did have a good homeschool community growing up, and overall I had a really fantastic experience. And as of today, I homeschool my children, and all of my siblings, my 3 siblings, are homeschooling theirs or going to homeschool theirs. So I hope that gives you a little insight into the kind of experience we had. We also had a very traditional homeschool experience as far as we used a lot of traditional curriculum. We had a pretty, not a strict schedule, but we definitely had a daily schedule. And my mom was a planner, and it was still fantastic. So I don't like hearing the vilification of all things traditional schooling, because I think sometimes we throw the baby out with the bathwater in an effort to be completely opposite to the public school experience. But it's not all bad, guys. We can still take some of the things from there and still turn out kids who had a good educational experience. So anyway, that's my little soapbox I'll stand on for a second. But I have 5 things that I've written down that I was just like trying to think of. How is my homeschool, different? What are some things that have been a blessing to me? So the first thing, and I think it's probably the biggest benefit for me from having been homeschooled, is that I have much less doubt about my decision to homeschool my children. And I think that that's just huge. And it's because it's been proven. I had the experience myself. I know that it works. I know that it can be done well. I know that it doesn't have to be perfect. So many first generation homeschoolers do not have the benefit of that perspective and that confirmation. And so I'm extremely grateful for that. I'm sure it has helped a lot in my homeschooling so far. And I know it probably comes across in my confidence with like making decisions for the kids. Doesn't mean that I'm doing everything perfectly. It does not mean that I don't question and doubt things, but I know that homeschooling itself can work. I know that I can turn out children who are going to be able to go and study what they want to study and get jobs in the field they want to get jobs in, because my mom did that. And she really will tell you she had no idea what she was doing for the most part. She did a really good job, I believe, because she was faithful and diligent to work hard for her children. But there were for sure a lot of things she wasn't sure about, and it didn't matter because she still worked hard. So that, I think, would be the biggest benefit for me being a second generation homeschooler. It's just, I just don't doubt it. I don't doubt that it's going to work. I don't doubt that my kids are going to be competent and capable at the end of it, as long as it's done well, not perfectly, but done well. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. The second thing, and I also think this is huge, is that you care a whole lot less what people think about your homeschooling. Like, I really just don't spend much time at all ever caring what people think about me homeschooling my children. I just don't care because I know it's what's best for them. I know that it works. I know it's what the Lord wants for our family. And so I just don't care. I don't feel like I have to prove myself to anybody. And that's huge. But I know that first generation homeschoolers, that's one of your biggest things, is you do have that little bird on your shoulder constantly going, is this the right thing to do? Are you doing the right thing? And then you've got people around you questioning you, And that's really hard. So I don't discount that. I know how challenging that must be. Being a second generation homeschooler, you just really don't care. Like, people might make side comments here and there. Like the whole socialization thing, literally, it's just an eye roll for me. Unless someone's like very genuinely asking me, like, what do you do about socialization? I just do not engage. I don't care. Like, you can have that mindset, and I'm just like, whatever. My kids are more socially adept than I am. There are a few times I have gotten riled up about people's opinions about homeschooling. Most of the time that's online, and I just don't engage in online debate very often in that regard. And it's only happened maybe once or twice in person where someone said something a little bit like snarky, and yeah, it definitely ruffles me a little bit, but I don't spend a lot of my time thinking about it because the proof's in the pudding, and I already had that experience. So the other thing I want to share with you is that I still have to figure out my own way. Just because I have the confidence and I don't care so much about what people think doesn't mean that I know what I'm doing. I still have to learn. I still have to research. I still have to better myself to be a better teacher to my children. That doesn't just all get handed to you at all. It's definitely something I have to work on. So my mom's homeschool style might not be my homeschool style. You still have to find your own way. When I decided to homeschool my children, I mean, I knew I was going to homeschool their children. I don't even feel like there was a time I ever decided that. I just knew it. But when I decided to start homeschooling my children, I felt overwhelmed, completely overwhelmed. Had no idea what I was doing or where to start. And that's from someone who was homeschooled. So I still had to figure out which curriculum was going to be best. I had to still wade through all of that. I had to understand the science of reading and how to teach my children math and the different homeschool styles that are available and methods and what I believe is best for our family. And do I choose to unschool? Do I use a schedule in my day? Like, all of those things are still decisions I had to make on my own. And it didn't matter that I had been homeschooled because my children are my children and our home is different to that, and I still have to find my own way. So just because I have other benefits doesn't mean it's just like a handout to, you've got it all sorted and you know what you're doing. No, I'm learning all the time still. And then the next thing really comes from that, and that is you still have your own unique children. My kids are different to my siblings, and I can't just base one, style or method, like grab that style or method and use that for my kids. I can't teach them the same way that I was taught necessarily. The routine is different. I mean, we always did school 5 days a week when I was homeschooled. I don't do that. I do school 4 days a week with my children. And my children all have their own unique strengths and weaknesses, and I have to cater towards that. So really, it all comes under one umbrella, is that you still have to do the work. You still have to figure it out. You still have to do the hard work. I didn't come out this perfect homeschool mom just because I was homeschooled. No, I still have character issues that I have to work on in myself. And I have my children who have their own unique character struggles that we have to work through. So that is just something every homeschool parent is going to have to deal with, whether you're first or second or whatever generation. That's still going to be something you have to work on. And then the final one is one that I at first overlooked and then was like, wow, actually, this is a big deal. And that is that I would say that most second generation homeschoolers have a lot more support as far as community support. So you probably have a mother that you can go to ask questions. You may have siblings who are older than you who are also homeschooling their kids, and you tend to be more steeped in a homeschool-friendly community because you're another generation deep into it. That's not a blanket rule. It might not apply to everyone, but I would say that for me personally, that's definitely the case. I know a lot of homeschoolers. I know, friends now who were also homeschooled at the same time as I was, and they've grown up and now they're homeschooling their children, and that definitely lends itself to just a stronger and more supportive community overall. And I'm really grateful for that. I think that it's why I don't often go outside of that to seek help with my homeschooling, because I have so many in-person, people that I can draw wisdom from. And that's a real blessing. So that's definitely a benefit of being a second generation homeschooler, having that community. And I do still have my local community where I have friends. But to be honest, we tend to meet up more for the friendship side of it and socializing rather than a lot of homeschool discussion. But I really enjoy that. And I do think that the online world has helped greatly as far as lending support to homeschoolers. And there's things like Made to Homeschool, which If you're not a member of that, it is free for you to join that. If you have a real desire to connect and get help from a homeschool community, then please go ahead and check out the link in my description, because it is free to join and you get access to an online community. They do a live monthly workshop that you'll also get access to, which is like so helpful. And then they do tend to run 1 or 2 conferences per year. They just did the Brave 2025 conference, and that was so good. There was one talk in particular, I think it was by, oh my goodness, what's her name? I think her name is Elsie, I think, off the top of my head. I know she's got like Farmhouse Schoolhouse on Instagram. I always remember everyone's handles on Instagram and not their first name, which is terrible. But she did a talk on there, and oh my goodness, I would have like, the whole conference was worth it just for that to me. Yeah, if you haven't joined in on their community, you get access, like that conference was free to attend live if you were a member of their community. So again, I'll have it linked down below for you. Those are the benefits, and yet some of the things that I still have to work on as a second generation homeschooler. I'm really, really grateful for the heritage that it's given me. I'm so grateful that my parents were courageous enough to do it at the time, because it was a really big deal for them. So yeah, I hope that appeased your curiosity. I have done other videos on my homeschool experience, some of the regrets I have from that. I'll link that video here for you. But any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them. Leave them down in the comments below, and I'll see you next time. Bye guys.